for our third back-to-back-to-back series. I hope that we have some people who are watching, and if you are, you're entertained. If not, we are just simply doing these VODs for the content, the culture, whatever. So, um, just good to have them up there. We are trying to hop into the first game of Janley Animal Control versus Clawseted Furries as fast as possible. Trying to get through these pretty quick while still giving them their fair share of time. First thing we're going to look at is this key matchup. I have now realized where I messed up, so I will be regenerating assets. Eric, if you want to talk about what you are expecting to see this series.
What I'd like to see, I think while Janley has not had a great season thus far, I think they are starting to find their identity as a team. I think having Ann in the jungle and Stanley in mid, it's I think the best version of their team I've seen. And so I'd like to see them stick with that. I think it's going to be a close series, hopefully, but I think there's a chance that Closeted Furries might take this one. I think I'd bet on Closeted Furries, but I think Janley is starting to shape up to be a much better team than they were in the past. So I'm excited.
I agree with that. I'm just making sure I have the right draft link when I go to pull that up. Okay, and the player highlights should now be correct. So the key matchup, this has only been played once before. It is Zach versus Stanley in the mid lane. Zach had a bit of a Lux performance this game. It is his most played champion in the mid lane. At 1-0, 21 KD is pretty disgusting. I do believe I casted this game, and my thoughts were that Stanley has champions that he's much more comfortable on than the Malzahar. So I'd like to see how this matchup goes when Stanley is able to get a champion that's as comfortable for him as that Lux is for Zach. Just briefly looking at some featured players, we have Blake, over 100 games in scrims, basically a 56% win rate, pretty solid. I do not expect to see the GP getting through draft this series, but it always could happen. The rest of his champions, I feel like he's pretty hit or miss on, or not like hit or miss on in terms of performance, just if he'll play them or not. He really does enjoy playing a very wide variety of champions. And then taking a quick look at Anne, I think all of these champions are probably on the table with the possible exception of Silas, but I also wouldn't be super surprised to see Anne end up flexing mid and playing the Silas. I know that is a comfort champion for them, and their mid lane is also a solid role for them. They have 129
I think
games
Kane
played.
would be really good.
True.
Kane could be really good this series. I think the enemy team plays a lot of plays a lot of both range champions. I think Blue Kane could actually be a general strong thing this series, even when traditionally Red Kane is a little better.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think that Diana's fallen out of favor for them a little bit just because of the changes away from the Tank Diana build. But I think the rest of them are probably still up there. They have had a lot of games in scrims, and they like to play the same champions over and over again. I think for players with this many games, that is actually a pretty small champion pool. So that's kind of good to see. Sticking with what works for them is fun and not necessarily the most common. These key champions, Zach has still yet to drop a death on Misfortune mid lane, so you could see that come out. Featured from Garrett is the Sivir. That did receive some pretty heavy nerfs, so we might not get to see that.
24 games on the Nami.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. It is the feature champion for both of these supports, so you could see some prio put on that during draft.
Yeah.
We could also see some Misfortune prio, considering that champion's pretty strong. Swain has also been a power pick, and I'd expect to see a ban put on the Victor as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree with what you said about the Kane, and I think the GP will probably also end up getting banned. So
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna flip to draft real quick. It looks like I am dumb and forgot to swap the draft over.
That is.
There we go. Oops. Okay, it looks like the Lux got banned away from Zach. Respect towards that pick. I think Stanley probably doesn't want to play into it after last time. I think that's pretty reasonable.
Gangplank MF, both very reasonable.
Yep.
MF's just super strong this patch, and Gangplank a certified Blake special.
Yep. Especially with like the mid flexibility for Closeted Furries. I think it's good to take away that champion from them. I'm
Yep.
surprised they weren't open to just first picking it because I think that champion is the strongest one on the current patch. So if it's just up, you should probably take it. But it's possible that as a team they're not comfortable picking it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Swain makes sense. Anne and Jake both play that. Victor against Stanley, no brainer. And then the option to ban the Soraka instead of the Nami makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
considering Blake is on that team and he absolutely hates that champion. But I do think
I feel like Nami is the better ban because Nami getting picked first pick is like almost is essentially a ban towards Leela too, right? Because
right.
you know, you should simply just take both of them off of the champion because I don't think first pick Soraka is going to be on the table a lot of the time. I think that
Yeah.
champion has pretty distinct counter picks.
Yeah. I mean, it also could just be like they're forced to pick the Nami if it's up because otherwise Layla gets it. But
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
also
That
just
is
looking
a
at the
strat.
draft, the Caitlyn Karma lock in immediately. I honestly prefer Layla's Karma. I think it's looked better in the games where I've seen it. Um,
Hmm.
and Caitlyn Karma is just a very
Really strong
solid
lane.
lane. Lots of like early pressure. Um, and
Yeah.
then the Kane response is just as you said.
Could have
Is
also
it
been interesting to see Kate Morg here too.
true?
Kate Morg also a pretty good lane as well, but she's her karma is, I think it's definitely one of the best supports I've seen from her. So
Yeah, I know that they really like the Ezreal Karma. It's interesting to see the swap over to Caitlyn, but I mean, I like it so.
yep,
And then Kane locked in. That's something that we talked about already. Pretty solid champion for Anne. It also keeps the flex for Jake going to the jungle alive because it's one of his better champions. But I think they do ruin that when they pick the Twitch because I don't think Stanley's going to play Twitch. Um, I question that pick though. I'm not sure how well Twitch will do into the Caitlyn, and I don't know how well he pairs up with Nami either.
it is not a great matchup for
Yeah,
Twitch, because Caitlyn's just really good at bullying people, and you can't really get your level 6 all in. Where at level 6 you're probably going to be at like 50% HP from all the chip you've taken in laning phase, right?
yeah. I mean,
So
honestly, like I think Twitch is bad with Nami and is not good against either Karma or Caitlyn. The pick that I really would have liked to see here that I know Jake has played a lot of is the Jhin actually.
Jin would have been really strong
It
here, yeah.
counters Jhin. I feel like it does decently well into Karma just because you're able to kind of dodge things out. And it's incredibly good with Nami.
Yeah, you're
Um,
staying out of her range of her W a lot of the time. Like you're
yeah.
never really going to be in range of that, which is like one of her like reasons why she's synergistic with Caitlyn is that it's a really good lockdown tool.
And then this Fiddlesticks from Chimmy is new. I don't know if he's been playing it in solo queue. I'd assume probably, but we at least haven't seen it in the scrim server. He's been traditionally playing like a lot of tanks. So this fiddle is a completely new angle for him. I like it a
Champ's really
lot.
good.
Yeah, it's a crazy good champion, and especially if they have some lead spot lane, they can just coordinate into some like really
Oh,
snowbally team fights.
Blake says not Shimi lol had Trey.
Oh, for jungle,
I don't know.
uh,
That's what.
can Blake say roles?
Yeah. What were the roles? Just subbed in Trey.
Oh, for jungle.
Yeah.
Okay. Um.
Okay. I
Right.
mean,
Well,
it's still a really
that
good pick
explains
here.
it. Yeah, I do think it's
Yeah.
interesting to see Trey not because I think every other game we've seen of him, he's been playing the Zeri. So it's cool to see a different role from him. That's always fun
Hmm.
to see adaptations like that. I'm just gonna try and spam regen these assets as fast as possible. I'm not gonna go back over the stuff we already looked over. But you know. If you can kind of talk through the rest of the draft while I'm figuring this out,
Yeah.
just like non-chip bans and stuff.
Um, interesting to see the Vel'Koz banned by Clawseted Furries. Obviously, like Stanley is probably decent on the champion, but Zach also plays it, and they haven't picked their mid laner yet. I don't necessarily think that Vel'Koz is very synergistic with Kane, Twitch, Nami. So I think
I
it's
I would disagree. I think it's actually really good with Kane, especially if you have Red Kane. The CC lockdown is really good. I think
uh-huh.
it is actually terribly synergistically with Fiddlesticks though.
Yeah. And it also and could go Red Kane this game, but like already in the first three picks we have three range champions, and the mid laner hasn't been picked, which very likely could be a range champion, right? So like the likelihood of it being against Red Kane is probably minimal. The Zillion ban though, that that's pretty obvious. That makes a lot of sense. Stanley, it's just when Victor's not up, it's Zillion time, so Zillion should get banned away.
Yeah, the
Fizz
Fizz is
Fizz
surprising to
getting
me. I
banned,
don't know
yeah.
if Zach's been playing it. I'll do some OPGG research real
I
quick.
they could just be asking Stanley like, hey, like what champions do you feel like you historically do bad into? I
He
think,
has played Fizz recently, for what that's
yeah.
worth.
So not a bad ban. Brand ban again. Not it's not necessarily the most useful ban here, but it's like fine. It's pretty good with Caitlyn, because the long range poke is just can get pretty annoying. It's decently synergistic with Fiddlesticks. Um, so it's a fine ban. It's not amazing, not terrible. It's
Yeah,
just good.
makes sense. The Akali blind is kind of interesting. I think it fits thematically with their team of just like hope to just literally outplay them and then just snowball the
Yeah.
game based on like just mechanical outplays. I think based on what I was saying earlier, high key, especially if we had picked Jin here, Janley had a great opportunity to simply lock in Silas mid because that champion absolutely dogs on Akali. And then if you have the Jin, Stanley can just flex bot lane and play the Jin Nami lane, which is incredible. And then Jake could have played the Kane.
Yeah.
Just a bit of a missed opportunity, I guess. It's not like obviously you have to be thinking pretty far ahead to make that decision. I think this is more just me lamenting about the Twitch pick more than anything. Pantheon is obviously also pretty good into Akali. You have that like direct lockdown CC, and Stanley has shown that he's able to play that champion quite well. And then the Mordekaiser blind is actually pretty interesting. It does fill in like the AP gap that this team is missing, and I think they desperately needed the AP, and I don't know how many other AP top lane champions they have in their pool
I'm
for
gonna be
Jackson.
honest. I don't know how much it's necessary because like who's obviously like the top laner hasn't been picked yet, but the enemy team is pretty squishy so far. So like
That's fair.
they might have been able to get away. And if they
But
wanted
I mean,
AP
they
damage,
could also
I'm
just lock in
surprised.
like Malphite, and it's just
Yeah,
like
I'm also
because it
surprised
is
that they didn't
Blake.
pick Volley Bear.
Yeah,
Because
that's the other thing I was
Jackson is,
thinking.
I think, I think Jackson doesn't play that champion much anymore. But champion does AP damage, and looks like it synergizes well with the rest of the team comp here. So I'm just surprised that champion didn't get locked in. But I don't think Mordekaiser is too bad. I just don't think it's a great blind pick.
I agree. I will say I like never would have expected Blake to be playing Quinn. Um, I feel like that is just it's one of those champions where I'd expect him to just go on like some sort of like long-winded rant in general chat about how the champion is dog water and doesn't deserve to be in the game or something. But I mean, I guess maybe I'm wrong. We do see the champ get locked in. I'm expecting to maybe see something in Twitch chat telling me I'm wrong and stupid for thinking that Quinn is a bad champion, but I don't know. I just think it is interesting. Obviously, she does have the E. No, I complained. That happened in chat, by the way. Gotcha,
In like Scrim's chat.
gotcha. Oh, in comms. Okay.
All right.
That makes sense. Okay, but anyway,
Looking at these comps holistically, like I'm not a huge fan of either one of them, but it's not like they're that bad.
yeah, I mean, I think I'm not a huge fan of Janley's. I think they kind of have a bunch of different things they want to do. I think if you had the Janley's comp is pretty straightforward because you just want to play around the Pantheon, get really aggressive engages, and then
Yeah.
you have a great supporting cast in Mordekaiser, Kayn, Nami, Jhin to follow up on the Pantheon engages. But since you have the Twitch, it kind of
The Twitch
completely
kind of wants to be
splits what
the
you want to
star.
do. Closeted
Yeah.
Furries is a very, very unorthodox comp, but it at least has one goal in mind, and that goal is to just have insane pressure around the entire map and just constantly just murder people as fast as
Yeah.
possible.
Fiddlesticks Quinn. They're
Yeah,
gonna just like not be in lane a lot and just try to be making plays in other
yeah.
places.
And with the ability to roam on Karma and Akali as well as Caitlyn's long range ultimates, it's just you're gonna have insane map presence. I'm gonna pull up some stats real quick. This is first time for basically every player on Closeted Phrase, with the exception of this Karma, which is 2-2. And then there's actually some decent experience for most, if not all, the champions for Janley. I don't know how I managed to move that.
Yeah,
My
the
bad.
24 game Nami obviously and
Yep.
the 14 game and
I
not
will
the most.
say these stats for the Twitch kind of reinforce what I was saying earlier. I think the Jhin would have been much better. I'm just gonna do a quick like
0.3.
sanity check on the Jhin stats. I guess he is 0-3 on it, but it's 2.43 KD, which is one of his higher performing ADCs. It's like his second best ADC statistically, behind the Jinx. His Kayn is his best performing champion overall. Really just think there's a missed opportunity there. Could have had a lot going for you, but I don't know. It is what it is. We'll have to see. Maybe he's able to kind of pull this around and bring something back. And
Yeah.
then we'll look at player matchups real quick. Garrett has not died versus Jake before.
Wow.
Zach absolutely
Blake and
bodied
Jackson have
Stanley.
played a lot against each other.
They have. Blake just has a worse record, but a much better scoreline. I feel like Blake probably slammed in lane, and then Jackson's kind of like split pushing playstyle was able to edge him out.
Yeah.
And then Layla has been. I feel like her KD overall has not been insane, but specifically versus Jacob, she just pops off. So that's always really fun to see.
And Zach had a game where they popped the fuck off into Stanley, so, and as well as Garrett into Jake, so probably was the game from this season, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of these games are. I think all these games are going to be from this season, with the exception of some of the Blake Jackson games.
Yeah.
But I also think Jackson joined late last season, so I'm not entirely sure. Champ matchups: Mordekaiser, Quinn, nothing. Kane has had one game into Fiddlesticks, went quite well. Twitch and Caitlyn have been historically even, which is odd, but I think Twitch was likely being played by one of our many Twitch one tricks in the server, which I think gives him an
Yeah.
inherent advantage.
Also,
then,
Caitlyn historically, for as long as Scrims has been out, has only recently become like a decent champion.
True.
For a very long time, Caitlyn kind of sucked. So
Very, very fair. I'm going to try to access the replay files. Believe I've correctly identified first one. Non-zero chance we load into the wrong game, but I won't show it on stream. So until I'm sure it's the right one. But yeah, I mean, I think the only way I see this game going poorly for Closeted Furries is if they somehow manage to like severely misexecute some early plays. Because if they don't have an
execution
early
is going to be a
lead,
big barrier.
yeah, if they don't have an early lead on like at least 2 or 3 other champions, they're kind of just useless because Mordekaiser, Kayn, Pantheon, Twitch have like guaranteed power later on in the game, whereas only person I feel comfortable saying that about on a Closeted Furry side is the Fiddlesticks.
The Fiddlesticks.
Yeah.
But even the Fiddlesticks is conditional on the team having like some oomph behind it, right?
Yeah. But yeah, the early game is going to be insanely important this game, so just something to look out for. Execution on Closeted Furry side is insanely important throughout the series.
Twitch opting for the longsword refill. Interesting. Maybe thinking that the refill is going to be more important into the Caitlyn because they're getting poked, which is like fair. But also, at that point, you might even want to just go D shield.
Potentially.
I don't think D shield would be that bad of a purchase in this game.
Yeah, I think especially into double like super ranged, it would allow you to safely scale up into the late game, which I guess is what you want to do on Twitch, even though that's not what your comp overall wants to do. I do think
D-Blade on Pantheon is also kind of interesting.
I think that's good. I'm a fan of that. It gives you a lot more laning power in exchange for like a slightly later power spike. But just as a team, you want the
What
King
about
and
a
Twitch.
longsword refill? Do you think that would be good here?
That's like the conventional option or longsword 3 pots.
I see.
I think if you're specifically looking to have like a better lane before your first back, though, I think this is the correct buy. The only thing it does is like delay whatever lethality mythic you're going for. But just based on how their team comp is overall, I think they're looking to play more for late anyway. So having the safer lane with the slightly delayed power spike is worth it. And also you can see the value immediately. Like it's a lot of damage down here.
Winning the trade.
Yep.
Janley's just going in. I wonder why Caitlyn Karma took such a passive spot in that early bush there. I feel like if they were just standing out and poking at the Twitch Nami, Twitch Nami could already be like
Stanley is just going
right
in.
now. Stanley's going
Forces
in.
the flash, but has to burn his own for it. It should give him more kill pressure later on, but it is 2 sums burned for 1. But the big thing to look at here is that Zach's forced out of lane at level 1.
Yeah, didn't even get level 2, so it was gonna be hurting for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's Blake in the jungle and Garrett top lane.
Oh,
and it's Trey on the
Trey
lane.
and
So when I asked Blake what are roles, and he says, "Oh, it's just Zach's."
Yeah, so he just lied. So that was pretty pog. Good for him.
Thank you, Blake. Very clear.
Yeah, Ghost on the Caitlyn. I don't like that.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. This is. I've talked about this on another cast. There is something that'll happen in 80 carries where everybody really dislikes taking heal because it's the only summoner you take every game. And so every time somebody wants to take a new summoner, the whole bandwagon comes in without thinking about how it could actually be impactful.
Okay, this could be
Stanley
a big play.
Doesn't have to do anything for that though.
That's able to get out here. Okay, so Garrett top makes sense. I think he's played top lane before, and he has in the server, and he has experience on 80 carries. So Quinn actually makes a lot of sense for him. That also makes more sense why Quinn is being played, because I assumed Blake would be playing top lane, so the fact that he's not makes sense. Also, there's like the Blake lane swap thing going on, so the fact that he's in the jungle, I guess, shouldn't have been a surprise to me. And Fiddle is definitely a champion that lines up his playstyle. As I'm saying
Stanley
this, he comes mid.
In.
Stanley takes a tower shot there, which I think is the only thing that causes him to die here, if that's ends up being the result. But with Karma coming up as well, there's no shot that he should be able to get out.
Karma should take this for fun.
Literally does. That's so funny.
Based as fuck.
Yeah.
Jungler doesn't have rights.
Yeah, and then Trey playing one of his 80 carries that he plays makes sense. That would also explain why it's not the Ezreal, because that's more of a Garrett champion anyway.
Yeah. Alright, so this draft is making a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, still am not a fan of... not gonna worry about it too much, but yeah, Ghost Caitlyn seems really cringe, but...
Yeah, I probably would have gone for Cleanse this game.
Cleanse would be really strong with Pantheon and Nami on the opposing team. that you want to prevent the Pantheon engage as much as possible.
Yep.
Kane, obviously, you don't know if he's going red or blue. He's probably going
Yeah, I mean, you
blue,
also
but,
can't cleanse the knockup, so.
You can't. Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot.
That means it's better if it's on blue Kane because the slow. But I don't think you want to be cleansing Kane W slow.
I don't know what you're talking about. Paste. Unfortunately, because Anne failed that mid play, had to was still farming the jungle, and so kind of got an uncontested dragon. It's a little bit of a greedy dragon, but I guess they had vision advance, so it wasn't super greedy. Looking at the CS, I am very surprised that Pantheon is still up in CS. Obviously, the level 1 hurt Kali a lot, but she did have the enemy die, and she also hasn't bought anything. So she stayed in lane the whole time. So it's surprising that she has not caught back up in CS yet.
Yeah, I mean, Akali also is just like a difficult champion to farm on. Her wave clear is not great. Anne is getting some orbs here. I think that is probably the only positive thing. Stanley shows up. They might be able to kill onto Blake, but Anne is incredibly low. Stanley is able to pick up a kill, so it's a 1-for-1, but the Quinn rotation, because of that champion's ultimate, Quinn is now 6. Stanley's just dead here. That's a double kill to the Akali, and that is not a champion you want to get kills if you are.
Now, if Stanley was level 6, he might have been able to ult out of there, which would have been interesting.
The Quinn,
unfortunately,
he
he's
probably
still
would have been
level
able to interrupt it, but if you wait until Quinn E's, you should be able to get out.
Yeah. Kind of unfortunate there.
Yeah.
Stanley doing what he does best, not farming a lot, but being a roaming menace to society. Unfortunately, he's died more times than he's gotten dubs, but still good to know that his playstyle hasn't changed. Still a demon.
Makes sense. Jackson has a farm advantage. I think part of that is due to the Quinn roams.
Yeah.
And that's something you'd expect to see from a melee into ranged matchup.
Yeah, this CS lead from Caitlyn, however, is pretty standard. So it's what Caitlyn's good at. She's good at getting like a pre-level 6 farm advantage. It's one of the only reasons to play the champion.
Right. Jackson, I believe, just ulted, but the play mid is arguably more important. Zach's able to get behind Stanley, forces the flash, but Zach still has R2. Looks like the Mordekaiser ult didn't amount to anything. Garrett's just getting a lot of damage down. There's a lot of warfare over those wards in the top push.
Yeah, it's kind of
the flash E from Quinn plus the ignite.
Oh, he might die.
Yeah, I was gonna say
the
flash was not necessary there either way because you're either already dead or Quinn had nothing.
Or already had gotten out. Yeah. And staying to get the orbs
dead here also. I don't know. If I was Zach, I would have flashed on that. But
oh yeah,
manages to live.
Zach pinged in general chat how the Akali Q missed when the Akali Q didn't hit, so obviously it's gonna miss it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting here, the ult used. Maybe there is some world where they get Caitlyn there, but Nami was way too far behind Twitch to follow up there. So
gotcha.
Do not agree with that play. People are just using ult for fun down in the bot lane. I guess Nami might have to recall here, so not the worst play. Nami's not recalling, so that could be pretty bad. It looks like Blake has a good roam timer on this bot lane if they decide to do it, but no, they're going to collapse on Stanley instead.
Yep.
In the mid lane.
Looks like they're just trying their best to shut down Stanley. Makes sense. It's a good play.
Yeah,
Zach is the
Stanley
ult out
has the
again.
E.
Takes some tower shots.
Yeah,
And
Empowered E is
does
just gonna
not go
get
for the
Stanley
kill
out of
with
there.
R2 here. Yeah.
And now Blake has missed the timer on the bot lane. Probably would have been a better play. Obviously, wanting to shut down Stanley very important, but now that timer in the bot lane is gone.
Yeah, I mean, the Akali is really strong here, and the Fiddle has a lot of kill participation, even though it's not directly kills. So that like early game playmaking that we were looking for is definitely coming true. And just goes in and
didn't
gets
get the ult
absolutely
off in
destroyed
time.
by the Akali.
Yeah. Maybe something could have been done there if they had gotten the ult off in time, but they unfortunately did not. So that kind of looked like an int.
Yep, I think Anne's just kind of desperate for the orbs, which makes sense.
Yep.
Like post 10 minutes, you kind of want to get your form sooner rather than later. They do have the Rift Herald, so we could see a play for that, but Clawseted Furries is able to just pick up a second.
Yeah, I'd really like to see the Rift Herald used mid here. Not only is Stanley really behind, but like opening up Pantheon to the rest of the map is just going to be a really big ticket into getting back into this game.
Yep, and also weirdly enough, freeing Pantheon from the Akali lane will be helpful.
Yeah.
The fact that that's something that you want to do is concerning. Jackson could have a huge play here.
Should get
Gets
the
the
kill
solo
here.
kill. Well played.
Yeah.
Trading solo kills back onto the Quinn and has the CS lead. So
And Garrett
well played from Jackson in
overextending
a counter matchup.
They're looking for a play here. Do they know about it? The ultimate's going to connect.
The Nami bubble
bubble goes
whiffs.
wide.
And then Blake with the insane counter engage, able to pick up a kill onto Anne. And also Jake. The Pantheon comes here late, should be able to pick up the Caitlyn. The bubble actually does hit there and steals the kill from Stanley, which is maybe not what you want to see.
Is Stanley going to be able to get more than one here? I don't think so.
Out.
Yeah. Stanley's going to look for it, but doesn't. Yeah, unfortunately, Jacob, there's this thing called the Z-axis in this game. You need to... Surprised you don't know about it with your 24 games on Nami, but I'm just kidding. No flame. No flame, only love. Jokes.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jacob is the one that picks up the kill there.
Yeah, not too great. Maybe they can, if they can get... I was gonna say if they can get their Moonstoner mandate, it could be good, but just only gets the Lucidity boots with that goal, so not even gonna be able to convert it into too much more. Garrett's kind of looking off in the side, is gonna go back top lane.
Yeah, I think he'd be pretty easily able to join this fight if it like fully develops. Anne is being slow to get out of here, so it's probably just gonna get collapsed on by the Quinn.
Yeah.
I think this is a 3v3 that Clawseted Furries would win, but they opt not to take it. This damage on the tower
Stanley
might
is walking
get
up
a first
so
tower for
boldly
Stanley.
for this
I mean,
turret.
it's a Pantheon. I think you should be allowed to do it, but they choose not to go for the tower, which makes this fight a bit harder for them. Zach is able to narrowly get out, and now Stanley's taking a bunch of tower shots. Yeah, I think Stanley probably could have committed there to just secure the tower. Oh, that's a -1 in chat. Unfortunate. But yeah. I don't know. That fight's tough. I think if you take down the tower, you can probably get Zach, and Stanley wouldn't get low enough that he had to leave there.
They're going to try to make a play back onto this Caitlyn again. Caitlyn was actually out of their Nami ultimate, walked back into it for the culture.
Tragic.
It's the kill going onto the Twitch is what we want to see, though. I don't think Kane can't use the gold.
Doom Stanley. Actually, no. The Empowered E just gets him out. Well played.
Yeah. Hey, Kane is not going to be super useful with kills right now because they're already pretty far behind and they don't have form yet.
Yep. Stanley's able to lock Zach down under tower. Huge HP loss for Zach there. And Anne might be able to pick up a kill here.
Anne is looking for it. Gets
that
the slow.
Should be a kill into the Akali. I'd be amazed if it wasn't. Stanley, I guess, didn't have mana for Q, but that's a 700 gold shutdown for Kane. Really good for Janley here. They're
looks like Akali's R was up, no?
No, not yet. It's coming up right
It's just coming up.
now. Yeah.
I see. hard for me to tell.
Alright, this Mordekaiser ult
pixelated
should
stream.
just doom Garrett. Oh my gosh, huge play
Yeah,
to interrupt
oh
the Q,
my
but
God.
unfortunately Mordekaiser just gets it back, so... I don't know, Jackson's playing really, really well this game. Especially with the counter matchup.
Yeah, this Twitch is starting to do stuff now with that kill he got, but he still doesn't even have an item yet, and that's the product of getting zoned out by this Caitlyn lane.
Yeah.
Again, probably would have been better to see a Jhin here, but I'm glad to see that getting a kill on the board on his way to looks like.
Yep, the Pantheon Nami combo is huge here. The Caitlyn should just die.
Huge.
Yeah, really well played by Stanley.
Yeah, it looks
the
like
gold lead is actually flipped into the favor of Janley. And opted to go for the red cane here. I think just having that extra survivability versus a tankier team makes sense. And drops the red smite here and actually runs away to decide not to opt for the fight. I don't know if that was the right
gives
call.
his team also gives his team more frontline, right? Because
yeah.
You have Mordekaiser, but sometimes Mordekaiser can ult somebody and you're magically not going to have a frontline anymore.
And is actually going with the Eclipse Red Cane build though, so that will keep the ability to like. Okay, never mind. Fight happening. Blake isn't down and just absolutely destroys Anne. The Eclipse build does allow you to one-shot the squishy members of the team more quickly, but it does leave you vulnerable to that Fiddlesticks.
That is a bold attempt to take the ward Stanley, and you're probably going to die for it. Yeah, he really wanted to take that
the
pink
calls
ward.
here for Janley are so split. They're doing, as Anne would call it, the Kung Fu movie strategy, where they all go in one by one and just die. I don't know.
A bold strategy.
And got caught out first by the initial Fiddlesticks ult. The call there is probably to just disengage, but I don't know. Stanley went to clear the ward, and then Jackson TP'd to a play that was probably already sunk, and that's going to be the third dragon for Clawseted Furries. Respect to Janley for bringing back the gold lead slightly in their favor, but unfortunately that play afterwards.
Yeah, now they're going to be over a K, unless Twitch can't do anything here. They're going to be over a K gold lead ahead now, and they're going to be on point, which is pretty brutal. Mountain Soul is obviously not the hugest thing for their team because they are playing 4 damage heavy champs, and then like Fiddlesticks, who like kind of half counts as a damage heavy champ. And then, but you know, obviously like being on Soul Point this early into the game is not what you like to see from Janley and Patrol.
Yep.
Getting second Herald, don't know if you can make a play here. Fiddlestick's gonna ult, gonna not really hit anybody. They're just gonna kind of walk away from that. They could look to do something here with Fiddlestick's ult down. That is their like main way of
okay. Really well played by Zach. Just completely lights up the cane. I don't know. I think the Eclipse build is just a bit unfortunate.
Also, dropping the Rift Herald there was highly suspect. Don't really know why they did that. Can't really think of a good reason.
Yeah, this might be an insane. This might be a pre-25-minute soul for.
Yeah, it's looking like it's gearing up to be. Oh, Twitch going in here does not end up firing the ultimate. Maybe could have done something there. They had Pantheon W up. They had Nami bubble. They probably could have picked the Caitlyn there maybe, but you know, safe plays not necessarily a bad thing when you're already kind of losing.
Jackson gets the ult down onto Caitlyn. I kind of want Janley to go up and take the tower here, but since they're not, it's really hard for Jackson to survive. So he just has to back out.
And you can see Fiddlesticks, he already has his ultimate back up.
This is going to hit so many people.
Oh, it's going to...
He does have to flash to get everyone trapped in, but that takes out the entire bot lane. And Jackson's just caught out here as well. Anne is farming Krugs, so is not going to be present in this fight. And Stanley is likely just going to fall because this tower is just gone.
Stanley could have saved his Q there a little bit, maybe.
Anne is now going for the play on Garrett. If they had gotten the ult off
and Stanley
the ult wasn't up for the cane. And might be able to get a kill here on Trey. Oh no. And now Fiddlesticks is here.
Garrett, don't walk up here. Okay, alright. Your team's got this, you don't need to risk your life.
Does
Alright,
burn
has
the
to watch
flash there, but
yeah, just like Kane, get out here. Yeah. You see Jake pinging that Kane's ult is ready. A little bit of Discord could be going on in the Discord, as they say.
yeah, I think that's
up in
a
2 minutes.
bug, or I don't know, because it came up like halfway through the fight, so I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what could have happened there.
Yeah. This tower is finally picked up. Took quite a long time.
That second item, Zonia's, obviously it's pretty standard for Fiddlesticks, but even if it's super standard, it's going to be really brutal for Janley control.
Yep. That heavy AD stuff going on.
Yeah. I wonder what Twitch's item is going to be here. I think the standard thing would be to go Kraken. I don't think Shield Bow would be a terrible purchase here. They have a lot of assassination potential. And I think Kraken Slayer is way better at DPS than Immortal Shield Bow, but that doesn't matter if you're dead. So we'll see what Twitch decides to build here.
True. This looks like the collector from Caitlyn. Not a fan of it, especially not with the 3 like very bulky champions. But I think considering Anne isn't actually building resistances on Kayn, it is better than it would be otherwise. Yeah. But
I understand the logic behind it because you're winning lane, you have an item. You can, in theory, you can just Q auto ult the Twitch, and then they die to collector proc.
Jackson might win this fight because he's able to keep. Oh no, he's not able to keep autoing because the
the ult didn't fully channel because of the shroud.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's actually really well played. I don't think I was aware of that interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now this engage is not as optimal for Mordekaiser.
Yeah, it's gonna do a lot of damage, but I don't know how much it's gonna matter.
Yeah, actually, he might be able to pick this up. Yeah, I just stay there and take the kill.
Yep.
It also wasted a lot of their time. I would have hoped that Janley could have gotten something done there, but it's a 2-for-1.
Yeah,
for
their jungler is dead.
Blake
so
can just pop the ulti onto these 2. If they're not just forced to burn anything. That was a really unlucky play for Garrett, but he's able to
I also feel like they can just let them walk away and just take the soul.
Yep. This is going to be like a 24-minute soul for Clawseted unless someone's able to steal the dragon.
Yeah, because they can't walk up here, right? Because Fiddlesticks just has the threat of just ulting.
Right.
And
Stanley's just dead to the Caitlyn. There's the Fiddle ulti. Easy cleanup.
Yeah. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I understand why generally, but honestly, you probably should just mulligan the soul away.
Yeah. I don't know, this is a really tough spot for them to be in. The early dragons picked up are huge.
Yeah, we're not
was
seeing
able
as
to
much
pick
of
up both Rift Heralds, but I don't think that matters.
We're not seeing much of a gold lead as in the other games where there was kind of a stomp. It's kind of a stomp in a more subtle way where they're not even up on towers, I believe. They're just simply like, they're saying, okay, we're up by X amount of gold. We're going to sit around, wait for this objective, use our minor advantage to create a slightly larger advantage, wait a couple minutes again, do it again, wait a couple minutes, do it again. And Janley Animal Control is not using this time in between the fights to find their spots to gain their advantage back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks is just he's a monster in the pit, right?
Yep.
Like you can't just deal with him in the pit very well.
Jackson
This
might be able
looks
to...
like it could do something.
Oh, Jackson's missed a couple abilities, but Ant should just be able to pick up the kill on the Quinn. The Bork is actually coming in huge, and the re-engage by the Fiddle is probably pretty dooming. Gore Drinker here would have been huge. Unfortunately, we still do have that Eclipse. That makes this pretty rough to play. And there's just more
and
people
Caitlyn
here
got
from...
here.
Yeah, the entire team from Furries has collapsed. And the Pantheon and Nami are like kind of in the area, but they're just not there fast enough. Twitch is just slowly pushing up in bot, but this should just be a free Baron.
What's really impressive is that I wonder, does Quinn W count towards your ward score? Because
No.
31 ward score is pretty
Maybe?
impressive to have for a top lane Quinn.
It could just be a control ward that stuck around for a while.
That stuck around for a while, yeah.
Because I think that one top that Mordekaiser just walked over a bunch of times did end up dying.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe it does. I'd be surprised if it did though.
Yeah, I would too. It's just very impressive to see that from a top laner. Notorious, the role notorious for people not checking the map.
Yeah.
Especially on Quinn, where
I mean,
like,
he is off role at the moment. So.
Yeah.
In the top lane, but not a top
laner.
laner.
I got Fiddlesticks on the flank again.
Yep. And
they gotta be
Zach's
careful.
just going for Anne again. Ends up missing the E, which is normally pretty dooming for Akali, but she does have R2 that she can just use after the cup.
Oh, and his
able to pick
entire
it up.
HP bar is back. That's crazy. They just like got all their HP back from
Stanley hops onto the Caitlyn. The Nami ult is there to follow, but this is a 2v4, so I don't know how much Stanley's gonna be able to get done. And the Caitlyn ult is there. Jacob not able to
block in time. And might be able to get something done here, but Fiddlesticks is just lying in wait, waiting for the perfect ultimate.
Oh my gosh, that damage onto Anne was ridiculous. I think it was the auto and the E hitting at the same time, so I think it was like a Bork proc plus the E. That was wild.
Quinn's
just
looking
a
little doomed.
I mean, Jackson
they have some
getting work done here.
Yeah, but Jackson. If there's one way they win this game, it's Ann and Jackson finding a way to pull a rabbit.
Unfortunately,
out of their
Jackson
ass.
is losing to the Quinn in the ultimate here.
Yeah. Somewhat unfortunate. Ends up getting the tower, so not the worst thing.
Yeah, no, I think the gold gain from that play might actually be advantageous for Jackson.
Yeah. Trey disconnecting for fun.
I heard about this.
Okay.
They were worried that he was just never going to reconnect.
That's funny. Twitch still super down in CS. I feel like he's had a lot of time out of lane now to like be able to deal with the oppression of not deal with the oppression of Caitlyn. So I'm kind of surprised to see him still down this bad in CS.
He's down bad? He's down bad?
He is very down bad. Playing Twitch right now? Oh my god, you're down bad.
So true. I mean, I think once we see the IE pick up, or not the IE, I guess this is Runan's first, he'll be pretty strong. Obviously the 4th item IE will make him really strong. Garrett is just doing ridiculous amounts of damage.
Yeah, I still honestly would have liked to see maybe Shield Bow instead of Kraken, because I feel like Twitch is just not doing anything in these fights, and Shield Bow would even actually let you do something.
Yeah.
But obviously Kraken is the pretty standard pickup here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the item he needs to win this game. I think it also will make him look really bad if they don't get a chance to win the game.
Yep, agreed.
Because they just need that team fight that lines up right. And
oh my
Jacob's
god.
just gone. I'm just gonna head back and see what all is entailed there. I think there's a trap. They had a ward on the trap. Did Jacob just walk into it? Yep, Jacob just walks into a trap. It'll silence. Yeah, that's kind of inexcusable.
Ping. Yeah, that's a question mark thing. Also on that Caitlyn skin, the traps are pretty obvious where they are.
Yeah.
It's a little extra
And
bad.
now Zach's gotten in under the back line, and Fiddle's there in the middle. This fight is just doomed. This is either just going to be an
JAC is
end
bad.
or the Elder. I guess respect to Jake, he was able to get Zach pretty low, but is not able to get the kill ultimately. I wonder if Stanley eased the wrong direction.
I wanted Quinn to steal that from the Caitlyn.
Yeah, I mean, Quinn was going to if Stanley eat in the right direction.
Yeah.
This is just kind of like a sad way for the game to end, I'm not going to lie. But really well played by the entirety of Clawseted Furries, able to just solidly win that game. I feel like it got a bit scuffed in the middle, but their background coordination was just really good, which is, I feel like, somewhere where they've had potential pain points in other series. So it's really good to see them kind of pull it back together. I think, for me, I think MVP to this game goes pretty easily over to Blake.
Yeah, agreed.
He was just everywhere, like wherever he needed to be. Obviously, like every single player on Closeted Furries played really well this game. Right, just doing what Caitlyn does.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen a Quinn play this well, too. So respect to that.
Oh yeah. Also, there's no way that
well
the
with a lot of
W.
pressure.
There's no way the W doesn't count because their ward score has gone all the way up to 60.
Yeah, that's
So the W has to count.
that's ridiculous. All right, I will hop into waiting. Oh shoot. Blake, if you're watching, can you send me the post game screenshot for that game? I just need to know like KDs and stuff for game logging purposes. I believe you're watching.
Yep, he said yeah.
Day 3 and they still don't know who's on jungle. What do you mean? That's funny.
He was talking about how we didn't know he was.
Right, but it's because I asked.
When he didn't tell us.
He heavily implied the opposite. Oh, that's funny. I do believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Blake, but I think that the lineups are going to be the same. So Blake jungle, Trey 80 carry, Garrett top for this next game. But I don't know. I've been known to be wrong, I guess. So
yeah, notable person being incorrect. Or something.
All right, Blake, thank you. You're clutch for this one. Okay, Janley was on blue side. Furries was on that side. Blue team did not win. All right, I'm going to try and speedrun this. If you want to talk about what we can try and see adaptation-wise from Janley going to the next game. They took the same side, by the way.
Okay, sorry, I was AFK for a second.
Oh, all good, all good.
All right, what do I want to see from Janley? I want to see them. Honestly, I want to see them prio pick their mid more. I know Stanley really likes Pantheon and all that, but like I feel like if he was on Zillion, he probably could have done a lot more of that series. And so like not like prio picking Stanley's champions, kind of bit them a little bit, I think, as well as just not even in the team sense, because I think honestly their team comp wasn't the problem. I feel like they were just kind of they didn't really have a lot of coordination in their plays. They had a lot of really good solo plays, but they didn't really translate that into advantage going into the team fights. And then from Closeted Furries, I'd say my only real critique is maybe like trying to like in draft probably try to prio some of Zach's champions a little more, because I think his Akali was fine, but I think he could have had a little bit more impact because he had a really big early game lead, and I feel like it didn't translate into as much gold advantage as I would normally expect from a high kill Akali. So
Fair.
maybe having him on champions that he's more comfortable on, maybe he can translate those early game gold advantages into like more gold for the team.
Gotcha. I am also hearing that Chimmy is subbed in game 2. How do you think that will affect draft? Because
Uh,
I believe that means that everyone is returning to their normal roles.
um, yeah, that I think is so. Chimmy's probably going to be jungle, right? And then Blake's
Yep.
top. I think the draft game plan from Janley doesn't really change that much. Obviously, it's going to change because they have different people on different roles. But I don't think it's going to substantially change drafting for the enemy team. And I still think they should be prio picking Zach a little better. And obviously, Zach's role is probably not going to change. So I
Fair.
still think most of my ideas hold true.
Valid. I will be a hot second on the asset creator. It's just I'm having to adapt rapidly. So there's a bit of a brain lag at play here, but we should be good to hop into graphics and kind of like draft discussion very shortly. I don't know. Think this is a very good look from Clawseted Furries, and if they're able to keep this kind of like strong showing consistently across multiple games, even with different rosters, I think that's panning out really well for them in the future. So just
Yeah, I
cool thing
agree.
to be excited about. Just gonna look at the matchup. Obviously, Zach doesn't still have a 22 KD in this matchup, but it's still ridiculously good stats. Stanley has been struggling into him. Um, I do think it's interesting. I think it could just be like Stanley's been branching out of the champion pool more, but um, I feel
Yeah.
like, at least personally, I felt like Stanley was one of, if not the best mid laner um, that was playing in scrims this season. I think Healy is another one that's up there, and if Cam were to be playing more mid, and also like Hongbaba, but Zach's been playing really well into all of them, so it's just like a fun thing to see.
It is
New
interesting.
people at the top of the.
The other thing I find interesting is that I think obviously the big contributor to this is that like if we look at the champion Zach has gotten in the 2 games against Stanley, it is his most played champ and his 5th most played champ, whereas Stanley's champs both are not on the list at all.
Yeah, I will
So
also say I think that might just be his 5th most played champion because he just played it. I don't know if it was there last time.
mm,
I can
yeah,
check real quick, but
yeah, but you get what I'm saying, right?
yes.
Is that Stanley this is again goes back into my critique of their draft. Both teams need to be prioing their mid laners a little better because their mid laners are big facilitators and like how they're gonna get crap done on the map.
Mhm.
So you know, not having not having at least a game plan because you don't necessarily have to prio pick to have a game plan as to how to deal with your mid laner,
Mhm.
but it feels like both teams do not really have a concrete game plan on how to draft around their playmakers, and so I'd like to see that a little more.
Definitely hard to agree to that. All right, I will just swap to some of the other highlights real quick. It's going to be back on Blake for the top lane. That's pretty much the same graphic we just saw. And then same thing for Anne. I have been meaning to be better about these, but it's just been a lot of games in a row. I'm a bit fatigued, if I'm being completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like nothing's really changed here. Obviously, Layla's karma stats are going to be better after that game, and Jacob's stats are going to be a little bit worse. But everything else is pretty much the exact same, so we can just hop into draft. Um, Looks like the bans are slightly different. The Victor taken away, and same with the Swain. These are things that we saw before. The Kane is banned instead of the Soraka, which leaves up Soraka and Seraphine and Nami all as potential strong picks here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think with Chimmy in the game, there's now more priority on Udyr as a champion. Um,
The Ann Udyr, very bold decision. I think it is good idea because Udyr is extremely strong right now. However, I do not think Ann plays Udyr.
I've heard that they've been playing some of it recently. I think it's just a question of how good have they gotten on it
Yeah.
in a shorter amount of time. Oh, I need to update. I probably need to update Udyr's image in the.
Also, there may or not be external factors at play. I heard that if Ann carried this game on Udyr, that they were getting a Spirit Guard
I heard
gifted
that also.
by Mason.
I had
So
also heard that.
if Ann is able to carry this game, maybe we'll get to see a shiny new skin on Udyr for Game 3.
True,
But
true. I am honestly interested. Actually, okay, I'll talk through the rest of the draft first. Zach, respect banned away from Chimmy. I like to see that. Zach's been pretty good, and if you're trying to pick away the Udyr and Zach, it's kind of hurting Chimmy's pool. Cool
yep.
draft strategy. I definitely like to see that. And then Nami Ezreal picked up. It's similar to the Karma Ezreal that this lane has preferred in the past, but slightly different support. But it's the same idea, and you're just denying the Nami away
Mhm.
Jacob.
From Jacob, yeah.
Right. It
I
does
really like
allow
this.
Jacob to get the Seraphine though,
Yeah,
which is
I like this
nice.
blue 2-3. I like this blue 2-3 a lot.
Yep.
I think getting the Lux pick away from Zach when Stanley is really comfortable on the Lux, and also both of these champions can both go in both mid lane and
Yes.
support depending on
Yeah, I feel like
what
their
the matchups are.
matchups aren't super different, so it's not like a crazy
Yes.
flex, but it is good.
Yeah, it's just a very solid 2-3. I really like this.
Yep. I'm going to assume that it's Stanley's Lux. I
And
might be
Jacob
wrong,
Seraphine.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a fair assumption.
The Amumu lock-in makes sense. I think they're just trying to get Jimmy a comfortable champion before they all get taken away in the banning phase, because I think that would be a pretty easy thing to target. And then Viego and Twitch banned away. The Viego is probably covering Anne in case they decide to flex the Udyr top lane, because Seraphine and Lux would be insane setup for the Viego. And then I guess they just don't want to run back to Twitch, but probably just because Twitch has a better matchup into the Ezreal Nami,
Ezreal.
and it has good synergy with the Seraphine.
Yeah. Do not think it's
Aatrox
the
taken
best band
away.
there, but it's definitely not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were also probably just struggling to figure out, because if you do have a flex champion, in the Udyr, it's hard to ban out like top lane if the Udyr then just goes top lane, because then you're wasting bans.
hmm
They don't know too much about Jake's champ pool. I probably would have banned the Jinx personally, but it
Yeah,
is what
Jinx
it
is a good
is.
band here.
Yep. Aatrox is probably a good ban. We've seen it in multiple lanes here. And Janley's Aatrox players champion has already been locked in.
The Akali ban is interesting. Obviously, they just played it and did pretty okay. However, I don't know how bad this matchup is for Lux.
True.
Like, I don't think it's that bad for Lux.
Yeah,
So
I'm not
I'm
sure either.
surprised. I'm surprised that that Akali was picked here. Because I mean Akali was banned here because I think Lux Binding is really good at dealing with Akali.
True. You know what Lux is not good at dealing with? Rumble. Insane pick here. Rumble kind of just shuts down Lux, because even if you do get hit by the bind, you're just getting fired, just blown
Yeah.
onto you. It's a really unfun matchup. And I think Zach has probably played enough Lux mid to know that. So it's
Yeah,
a pretty
to
good pick
know
for
that it's
him.
evil.
Yep. The Samira pick is interesting here. I'm not a huge fan of it with the Amumu. It's pretty easy for him to just immediately stop the ultimate. But if they're forced to hold their Amumu ultimate to shut down the Samira ult, that's probably not like the worst thing. And then Jackson's able to pick up the Yone. So they have a very aggressive engage composition, which is good
Mhm.
at taking out the Ezreal Nami. I just worry about the counter engage coming out from Amumu and Rumble at that point. And then Blake locks in the auction again,
That
which
that's bad news bears.
hit or miss, I guess. I'm just gonna check his
Yeah.
stats real quick, just like to affirm
I think it
what
is
I'm
more
thinking.
misses than hits historically.
Yeah, it is 0-2 with a 0.61
Samira
KD.
Samira is Jinx, by the way.
Samira's Jinx.
This is very important to note. I do not.
I think I like the comp less now.
Yeah, me too, kind of. I think Jinx is better with Seraphine than Mira.
I think I like the
However, I
Samira
think
Yone
it.
synergy to round it out. I
Yeah,
don't like the
exactly.
Jinx Yone synergy to round it
Yeah.
out. I do like that Jake is on more of a comfort champion, but honestly, like the Samira seem type. But
Yeah. If this is Jinx, I think going for a more beefy frontliner would have been a little better. Like maybe we could have seen a little Ornn action or something.
yeah, I mean, not the double ADC pick fumble.
Yeah.
Oh well, it is a bit unfortunate. So that means I need to regenerate assets. It's amazing. I certainly have not had to do that a lot of times for this game. For sure not.
Yeah.
Alright, speedrun, speedrun, speedrun. At least there's a few things I can ignore while I'm doing this. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Camp assets. Okay, so it is Yone. Actually, Blake, which lane was the Lux in?
I'm assuming mid lane.
That's what I'm assuming too, but if you can correct me if I'm wrong, that would be awesome. I guess auction
Yeah,
and rumble.
Lexus mid.
Okay, and auction top, right?
Yeah, auction top rumble mid.
Okay. I
Because of
figured, but both of those champions are good flexes. I do think it's funny that Aatrox is banned because Aatrox is like, I feel like the one pick that makes Rumble top literally unplayable. So it's funny that that got banned, which allowed them to whip out the Rumble. But I just don't think it's going top. So I don't think that's as big of a
I
factor as I would like to pretend it is. But
I also really just dislike not picking a tank here in general. I think with the Samira it was pretty okay. But like,
we have Udyr.
uh yeah, but if you just play a tank into Blake and you just like mental kabooms.
That's
His
true.
like his
That's true.
win rate versus tanks is like I'm pretty sure it's like less than 25% because he mental kabooms.
That's fair. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much I support the just drafting a tank to make Blake upset. I think it's
I
funny for sure,
I
but
support it. I
all
support
right.
it.
This is first time Rumble in scrims for Zach. Stanley's mid or Stanley's Lux has been performing pretty well. First time Yone. Blake's auction has not been super well. Chimmy, the one time he played Amumu, did quite well. And Udyr, this is old Udyr. I do have to update the logo. Looks like it's honestly been pretty good in the past. I just don't know how much they've adapted to current Udyr. Jake, I believe Jinx is his best performing ADC. These stats are not terrible at all, especially on a team that's been doing a lot of losing. Jacob, also with some pretty decent stats on the champion. Layla's Nami is kind of disgusting. The basically 5 KD on 6 games is really good, and Garrett's had really solid Ezreal performances. So I think in terms of comfort, I favor Clawseted Furries here.
Yeah.
But not like by like a huge degree. These matchups, same thing. Jackson.
It's gonna be really dependent on how well Anne is able to do on this Udyr because Udyr is really strong but pretty new to the champion, so it could be
Yeah, I mean,
could be really good or really bad.
these player matchups honestly just look like it's just a system-wide counter against the other team, with the one
Yep.
exception being top lane, Jackson versus Blake. But also statistically, Blake has always been playing well in those games, so it is kind of tough to figure out. And these matchups are not super common. The Ezreal Jinx, quite good. I think the Ezreal Samira is not as good. I believe it is not, at least in favor of Ezreal, like the Ezreal Jinx one is. And then the Seraphine Nami just has so much data to it. It looks like it's slightly Nami favored. So I'm expecting the Ezreal Nami lane to just do a lot more, but Jinx Seraphine's team fighting is arguably better.
Yeah.
Although both teams have good team fighting, just in a different way. I don't know. I just think this game is going to be quite fun.
Yeah, it's looking like it looks like both teams kind of want to brawl, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Prime Minister gameplay. If I play as a tank, just go. Okay, fair. Oh, sorry, brain fart. It loaded into the
That's
game
alright.
way faster than I thought it did. Um, Alrighty. It'd be cool if it would show up on OBS. Okay, there we go. I don't know. I'm excited to see this game. I think there's a lot of comfort for both teams, which is obviously good. I'm excited to see the Predator Rumble. I think it is always going to be fun, and if Blake can
Wait,
finally grab a good
Predator. Oh,
action.
that's sick. That's pretty baller. Longsword, Jinx. That's fine.
Yeah, I like it here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think you're not super worried about Ezreal pressuring you too hard. So as long as you get to that Noon Quiver before your opponent gets to their Sheen tier, I guess is going to be the first back for Ezreal realistically. Yeah, I don't know why they're 5-man bushing, why they're not 5-pointing.
Yeah,
And
they
they're
did this
doing this
last game
push here.
too. I think they just know that Clawseted Furries likes engaging, so they're trying to catch them off guard by grouping up. But did I say
Yeah,
engaging? I meant invading.
yeah, it's
Oops.
I mean, if Seraphine took E level 1, it could be pretty good. Because then they have Lux Bind into Seraphine E into Ram Stance. But then I can't believe they changed it from Bear Stance to Ram Stance. It's so boring.
I like the CC immunity thing. I think it's cool. But
No. I'm saying like I don't know why they didn't keep it Bear Stance. Sad.
oh, like the name? It's
Yeah.
because it's like the demigods.
Yeah.
It's a Nivea,
Lame.
Ornn,
I like
Oliver.
bears. I like bears and turtles.
What did they swap turtle to?
I think it's like goat or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Yeah, this is kind of what I expect from the level 1. Kind of unfortunate. This is also the other problem with the level 1 invade from Done's perspective. If he was able to get to that bush to like make sure that he doesn't get poked down by auction as hard, maybe this level 1 wouldn't be so brutal. But now he's just getting like kind of beaten away from the wave.
Yeah. I mean,
Stanley
the
going for
melee
a cheeky
range
play
is
there.
always going to be difficult.
Yeah.
I do think, I know I was saying bad things about the auction in the last time it got picked, but that was because it was a B2 pick instead of an R5. I think the champion does shine really well as like a niche counter pick top lane.
Yeah.
Our boy Mr. Beastfan 2010. Hopefully going to show us how that works. Gets the ignite out early, completely shoves Yone out of lane.
Is
Probably
not
could have
ahead.
flash autoed, but
But Yone has E, right? A W, right? So I don't think he dies there because he.
oh, no, I'm glad
is,
he didn't. I do
yes.
always love how Blake has a lot of restraint when going for kills. Probably.
Oh, interesting. Using the E to CS.
Yep.
It's pretty smart.
Smart place.
Oh, face tanks a minion with that W. Unfortunate. Jackson doing a pretty good job of staying in this game. The health has almost been equalized.
Yeah.
And is not that down in CS. So that's pretty impressive, I'd say, from Jax's perspective. It looks like there's a brawl going on in the mid lane. Looks like everyone's going to kind of get out with their...
Blake almost gets a solo kill there, but also gets taken pretty low by the tower.
Oh,
Stanley is looking
Jackson's,
to take that, but is not ultimately able to get it.
Jackson's level 4. He could do something here, maybe. Action's just going to...
I don't know. Both of the melee laners are doing quite well in keeping up in farm. Zach actually has a farm advantage, but I think that happened when he got a roam. So I don't know how much that has to do with his individual gameplay, but he was doing really well before the move came also. I mean, I also think Lux is one of those Shimmy. Okay, never mind. Shimmy makes a play onto Jacob in the bot lane and is coming up afterwards. Gets the stun down onto Garrett. Gets a lot of damage down. Might not be enough to get the kill. They're able to get the root onto Chimmy, so he's not able to hit the bandage toss, though. Jackson's trying to get as much damage as possible before he has to eat back, but Blake's able to just pick up the kill. Well played to Blake.
Yeah. Jackson, looks like Jackson just didn't recall. Jackson probably should have shoved in that wave and then backed and is paying the price for it.
I mean, I think he thought he saw an angle, and, you know, I appreciate the aggressive playmaking. Jake's doing a really good job of farming up in this lane, has a decent CS lead. Ezreal opts to go for the tier longsword early buy instead of the Sheen. I think either are fine. You'll stack up your tier earlier this way. But, I don't know. Jinx has the most CS in the game, basically doubling the Ezreal.
Yep. Okay.
And might execute to camps.
No. Okay.
Oh,
my
no.
god. Oh. Okay.
Oh no. Not like this.
I didn't want the game to go down like this, man. Oh. Akshan swinging into action.
Blake should be able to get this. The Ignite is available to him. Jackson... Wait, Jackson didn't level ultimate. Oh wait, he did. It's just a bug. Never mind. But Blake's able to get it. Has to burn both summons.
So I think the play there for Jackson is while Akshan doesn't have vision of you, you essentially just wait for Akshan to walk up, and then while he's pathing
ghosting, this could be a kill.
There's no universe where this is a kill. Rumble's
if
just
Anne
too fast.
had popped the Ram stance ultimate, it would have worked. I believe.
Yeah, but so the way that interaction top lane could have worked is that while you're pathing into the bush, your opponent's like cursor is inside of the bush trying to like auto attack as soon as they walk into the bush, right? So if you just ult as soon as Akshan gets into the bush, he's not going to be able to have enough reaction time to be able to follow up.
Yep.
And like, it's unfortunate. Obviously, like that's a hard play to make in the moment, but
yeah. I mean, he's doing a pretty good job of keeping the lane even despite the 2-kill deficit. Like, this could be a lot worse of a lane.
Yep. And the fairy charm. What is? I guess he's
Stanley's trading really well into JAC here. And also, there's just fights everywhere. They seem to all be going
this is what we wanted,
the
boxing match.
Yeah. And Blake should just be getting another kill here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, good flash from Jacob. Yeah, I don't know how much I like Moonstone. I just think the champion is so good with Leandries. But obviously on support you have less gold for that, so.
Oh, this would be such a good play for Stanley, except Chimmy's there.
He also doesn't have ultimate, so.
Yeah.
I actually feel like the amount of times he gets to kill there is not many.
Yeah. I mean, just the move there is probably the only thing securing his death, unfortunately. That was just a bit unlucky timing, I think.
Hopefully this Jinx is able to do something. Is still CSing really well.
It's a good look for their bot lane regardless, I think. The solo laners for Clawseted Furries are doing incredibly well. Anne is in a really tough place there with no flash. Chimmy should just be able to get them killed. Might be able to get the stun with the ultimate over the wall onto the Seraphine. Yep, exactly. That's huge though.
Oh,
Jake's able to get the snipe.
Nice ultimate.
He has been pretty good at it this season. And the Auction ulti is not able to get the kill because Jackson's able to hide behind the tower. This Rumble play is going to be insane, except he has no ultimate, so it's not going to be like the craziest thing. But this jungle's
Jacob
at least
should still probably die here, yeah.
I think Stanley's Lux ult just missed everything. There's a chance he's able to get something done here, but there's just no backup for him. I'm hoping we can maybe see a Dragon Seal or something from him, but it could be tough. And chose to not even contest the dragon, which I think was the right call. I don't think he would have been able to make it in time. But.
Yeah. It's interesting that they went for that greedy dragon play in the first place when you don't have flash. You know, when you have when you're playing Kane, and you have the ability to just go back over the wall, like obviously, like that's not a super bad play to go for because you know they could just not check it, and then you just get a dragon. But when you don't have flash, and you don't have a way to get over the wall, you have to be very sure that they don't have a ward in that pit, right? And they just did, and so you just die.
Yep. I don't know. I think it's different when you're playing like a flash or a dash jungler that can just get over the wall, but
Yeah, exactly.
that's not the case on the Ghost Studio. Oh, Stanley misses the cannon. Unfortunate. Anne is dropping down the Rift Herald there. This should potentially infuse some gold into Jackson, which could manage to salvage the lane, but
Oh my
Blake
god.
should just get the kill onto them there. And Chimmy versus Blake is, or Chimmy and Blake versus Anne is not a matchup Anne wins. They're just going to try and run away really quickly. But the Predator from Rumble is going to make that quite difficult. And the double ultis are going to ensure that Anne does not get to execute off.
Yeah, I don't know if both ultimates there were necessary.
It's
think
fun, though, for the culture.
for the culture, you're so right.
Also, they're ahead. They can do whatever the hell they want. This is a 3k gold lead at 11 minutes. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Jinx is their one and only hope. I think because Jinx is such an important way for them to win. I am surprised that they decided to use the Rift Herald top lane.
Yeah. It felt like more of a desperation play. I mean, Jackson is down 3 levels. I think even if he does get a huge gold infusion, it's not going to do much for him.
Jacob kind of misplaying the way he stacked his abilities. You're supposed to throw the Q first so that they get rooted and they get hit by the Q, but that's okay.
Unfortunate. This should just be another kill for Blake. The snapback is going to be really unlucky. Okay. Creative flashes, and the Ignite's just going to pick up the kill.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know if burning Flash Ignite for 140 gold is worth it, but, you know, it is what it is.
Mental damage, I guess.
Yeah. Jackson not having a good time this lane. I think Blake is just desperate to prove that his auction is not what it's
Dirty
been so
griefer.
far.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't going to say.
Yeah, that's okay. Unfortunately, I will still call it picking Akshan Grief, but I think it was much better this game, like you said, because it was picked late into the draft, right?
Yep. I think that's huge.
Stanley on I thought this pick where you're taking it away from Zach was going to be a lot better, but it seems that Stanley's really struggling to farm.
I mean, I think it's just that Amumu has been in the lane a lot.
Yeah.
Like early on, it's also just like a really hard lane. I don't think this pick is the issue. It's just they've been playing to help Zach out a lot, and I feel like Stanley's got no help from
I feel like Stanley, like Lux has the ability to just sit behind turret and farm, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously, like you're gonna bleed out a little bit of CS that way.
Dude, Jackson's
but
just like
you're already bleeding out on CS. Oh, and Jackson's dead. Oh, goodbye. Yeah. So on champions where you can, and Jinx just gets caught out here. Not gonna die though. Okay. Amumu's looking for the wraparound. Yeah. This Jinx's days on the earth are numbered. Directed camera really wants to look at Akshan killing a pink ward.
This should just be a very
and the Rumble roamed here too.
Yep. Positive Furries is never afraid to just rotate a lot of people there, but I think Chimmy dies for this, so well played to Stanley.
Oh, and Anne's coming in. They might be able to get something here. That damage, even if Anne is this far behind, the damage of Enhanced Phoenix Stance is so disgusting. Because Anne has no items and no damage, but still takes out half of Nami's HP bar. Oh, the Yone ult.
Oh,
something
huge
here.
Seraphine
and
ulti.
the charm.
Locks down the Ezreal, and Jackson's able to get out alive too.
Stanley gets another kill. That's pretty good. They're looking like they're going to get more. Are they going to be able to get this Nami? I don't think they're going to be able to get the Rumble. Stanley is able to find the Q onto the Nami, and the Nami is dead. They might be able to get this dragon here too. All of a sudden, it looks like Janley Animal Control has life breathed into them. They are essentially going 3 kills for 1 and losing dragon for a
That
turret.
Israel ulti is a lot of value.
That
if they're
was
able to
an
get a
interesting
counter engage
use
on
of
this,
E.
like Zac's here. He has no
Zac
ulti though.
does
Oh,
not have
Jimmy with
ultimate.
the huge Q, but does not have ultimate to follow. I don't think the flash is worth burning there if you don't have ultimate. There's just a lot of resources dedicated from Zac and Jimmy, and they just don't have their ultimates that make their chances
and I
worth
think
playing.
they're just going to be able to get out here.
Yeah.
Oh,
the ulti
that was
almost grabs Jimmy.
Yeah, close. However, they did overstay their welcome a little bit, and now Blake has gotten 2 turrets, making the play a little less worth. I don't know if you can get that kill there, Ann. I might be able to get out because Udyr moment, but
Yeah.
honestly, I'm pretty happy with the way Janley Animal Control played that. Because they were able to get 2 turrets top lane, the gold lead is back to being around 5k, which is not great, but it's a lot better than they were doing just a few minutes ago. So, and we see that Stanley, now that he has some kills, is about even in items with the
Rumble.
with the Rumble.
Yep.
And Jackson's still struggling a little bit, but that Yone ult was able to provide a lot of utility for the fight.
Ooh, Jake is chunked after that Ezreal play. Jimmy decides to cancel his back because of the low health bar. Might be able to make a play here. This is a 3v2, but the Jinx is quite low. Stanley's going for a lot of damage here. Unfortunately, Ann does not pop the CC immunity, so does get hit by the Nami bubble.
I'm interested to see.
Oh, this is going to be so bad for Janley.
Yeah.
Jimmy's here, has ultimate this time.
The Nami ult
It's a
goes
good
wide.
Seraphine ulti, and Jake's
my
able to get
God.
out. That's probably best case scenario for Janley.
Yeah. Honestly, like, Zac and the Seraphine, pretty good there. The Nami ult going wide, they definitely could have gotten more if they were able to get more off that Nami ultimate, but it was pretty long range, so there's not too much flame to the Nami for missing that one.
Yeah, definitely not. Ann is walking up pretty far here. I don't know. I think this 3v3 has the potential to go well, but Zac is hovering, so it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah, if they're already losing out on resources, like, Ann just needs to be like immediately going to like the red buff and Raptors and making sure that they're still getting resources,
Right.
because like the only way we're going to be able to get back in this game is this Udyr gets items and just becomes an unkillable machine, right?
Yep. Or just like unkillable enough that Jinx is allowed to do things. And Stanley honestly isn't slacking off too much either.
Stanley,
the auction will have
has
decreased value later off the
damage.
game. So I don't think this
I
is
did
actually
not
like
that Rumble ult. That was not the greatest Rumble ult of all time.
Yeah, I think it was more of like a deterrent more than anything else.
Yeah.
Just wants to be able to back and get items, because I think he's on, well, not then. He's on like 1100 gold, so we'll probably see like an alternator or something slammed here. Or just the blasting wand.
Rocket belt, blasting wand. What's the blasting wand you think building into as
I don't know. It could be a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm just also surprised to not see the alternator.
Yeah, I was expecting Shadow Flame.
Yeah, me
especially
as well.
Against Lux and Seraphine and Udyr and Yone. Like literally 4 shields. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hold on, sorry if that was loud on the stream. My headphones unplugged themselves. Oh, and
no.
Jake face checks the Rumble. You don't need to flash there. You don't need to heal there. Just stands still and dies. That's a tilter for sure.
Yeah, you just, you need to know when you're behind sometimes, right? Like, you're never gonna be able to step up
Okay,
beyond
and
the
might be able to
50-yard
get
line.
this. Except Jimmy's
Mumu's
there to bail
roaming
him out.
down. I don't think, Ann's gonna...
I do think Ann would have won that if not for the Mumu showing up.
Yeah.
Wow. Jackson's just so far behind. It's kind of ridiculous.
And Akshan has finally started to get with the rest of the team. Akshan has been like pretty not present for a lot of these fights, but now that he's finally shown his face, he is just laying waste to the entire enemy team.
Yeah, I mean Blake is basically almost 200 CS at 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just getting insanely strong. He's taken like the entire top lane. He has 2 items. The Jinx Rocket was almost huge there. If it had been like a half second later, it probably would have taken it.
Mm-hmm. Game is pretty brutal. We're looking at an 8K gold lead at 20 minutes. That is not what you like to see. I think Jackson just got his shield bow, which is good for him, but he is over an item behind the auction at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Blake is just terrifying to play the game around. Stanley's able
Yeah.
to get a good damage down, but it's not enough to get the kill.
Yeah.
And now Blake's here. Is actually just CC chained by Jackson, but it's
Blake
not
has to run
enough.
away. Really good play there from Jackson.
Yeah, there is a 4-level discrepancy in the top lane, which is quite unfortunate.
I see.
Blake is at 200 CS.
It looks like Stanley's going to be the one here. Wait, no, that's not Shadow Flame. That's a Horizon Focus, right?
Yeah. It looks like Rumble's going for Demonic?
That's either Demonic or Rylai's.
Yeah. I hope it's not Rylai's. He has enough slows in his kit anyway.
Yeah. The rest of the items kind of make sense. Early Fawn from... It looks like trying to go build into Fawn from Udyr. Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But however, this Akshan is really strong, and you are not doing anything about that because Udyr does not have tabbies and has no armor right now. So Akshan's going to be hitting like a truck.
Yeah, I mean it's just
especially
like
with the board.
Because like just everyone on the other team is sped.
Yeah.
Blake is just popping off this game. Jimmy unable to solo Baron on a Mumu. Not sure how that could be possibly true. I think a Mumu should be just able to solo Baron.
But he has a damage item. He should be able to solo it.
That's what I'm saying. But they should be able to just pick it up now. The Jinx Rocket goes just wide. But it does give them the knowledge that this is happening. It's good. Not sure they can do anything about it, but whole team is going to collapse, so possible. But they just have so many good ultimates, they're able to just prevent Janley from making a play here. I don't know, I really like Clawseted Furries composition now that I'm getting to see it played out. Because it's just like
a Mumu Rumble is
team
pretty
fighting
gross.
champions, and then Blake's able to just split the map insanely well with Auction. I think it's just, it looks a bit odd at first because it's not traditional and it's like dependent on the Auction getting like this crazy fed.
Fed, yeah. Stanley trying to get something done over here is probably not going to be able to get a lot. Stanley has not been playing super well in this series. I was glad to see the higher priority from both teams on the mid laners picks, but Stanley definitely did not come out in the exchange very well. Oh my god.
Yeah, this
maybe
game
a
is
little
looking a
unnecessary.
tad doomed. And Jake is caught by Chimmy there, and then the Rumble gets slammed down, forcing the flash.
Yeah, unfortunately,
oh my gosh,
there's not.
and just getting completely chunked here.
There is not a lot to say about this game. It is ballooned to over a 10k gold
420?
lead.
420 enjoyers? Question mark.
It is a 420
Oh
enjoyers
my gosh!
moment.
And then Blake just completely lights
Blake,
up
no
the
fun.
one strong member on the other team. Then just hops into the wall, which was kind of funny, but
Yeah.
action moment, I guess.
Spider-Man, woo! Yeah, I don't see how Stanley Animal Control comes back from this. We're gonna... The Fawn just got completed from Udyr, so maybe if they can get a team
Blake is
fight
going for the
where
1v3 crazy outplay. Gets lit up by
dashes
like
into the
everything on the other
wall.
team.
Oh
is
no.
Able to get Stanley. The Triumph comes through. He's about to get his flash up, but that's 1,000 gold shutdown over there.
Yeah. Misses the dash twice and still gets a kill. That is pretty crazy, even if Blake died. Yeah. The fact that he failed the dash twice and still got a kill out of it. The lifesteal was pretty insane from the Bork.
I am surprised to not see the Shadow Flame from Rumble here. The Demonic Embrace is an interesting
the
pickup.
Demonic, you called it. It's...
I just don't think they have enough tanks for it to be worth it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you know, if Yone's like doing the quirky like Blade Sunfire thing, and then if they had like a tankier support than a Seraphine, I could see it. But like, it's only really Udyr that's really helping. Yeah. Blake's build is pretty interesting, actually. Kind of going for an on-hit sort of thing.
Yep. I mean, I kind of like it. Standard auction build, but
yeah. Wit's End isn't. I wouldn't build Wit's End third, maybe. Maybe I don't understand the build path well enough, but you know, there's not a lot. There's a decent amount of magic damage on Janley's team, but I think the Bork is providing you more utility as the third item.
I think the Bork was second. True. I think the Ginsu's third would have been good though.
Yeah, so sorry, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. I think it's like to prevent getting one shot by the Lux.
By the Lux, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know how much like a valid concern that is, especially with your
Lux is pretty far behind. Horizon Focus picked up for Lux. That, you know, that could lead to some. I think the only people that are viable to be one shot right now.
Oh, and Jackson just
probably
the
Nami.
This is a dead
oh, that's
Yone.
So unfortunate.
Blake just does so much damage. It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah. The only person that's really viable to one shot now with me, but that Nami is going to get super dead if they get hit by a Lux ult, so that's pretty cool, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, they're just kind of fumbling around top lane, but Blake is slowly pushing in the other side of the map. Yeah. It's just going to be a really bad
other problem with Udyr.
Really quickly.
It's just the only other problem with Udyr is that.
Oh my god, huge
what an
ulti from Jimmy.
Holy crap!
I think he dies for it though. Yeah.
Yeah, the sacrifice was worth it.
And throws out the Empowered Storm, forcing the flash out from Zach. Okay, stun, bear slap. Layla's going down.
This champion
another
is
kill.
So
Anne's going. Smite. I think the Zonies is gonna, or the Savage is gonna kill it. No, wait, and another kill. Insane. But now Mr. Beastman 2010 has arrived, and it's over, and that's the triple revive. Oh no!
People tell me that
this.
People tell me that this champ is like, yeah, weak. Oh my lord! And we see people in chat agreeing with my consensus. This champion is not strong enough. Honestly, probably should get buffed next patch.
Buff Udyr.
Yeah.
Okay, Jackson. Oh, I'm not gonna say what I just saw. Jesus.
Oh!
And Blake does not get hit by it.
Oh no,
That's
Stanley.
garbage. How does that miss?
I'm so
Oh,
sad.
and Mr. Beast Fan 2010 absolutely lighting up the other team.
Oh, this is so over. Hey, you know what? With this game, the average between the 3 games for Akshan's KD might go even to 2.
Maybe. Maybe better than that, but who knows?
No, when your average over 2 games is 0.3.
Well, but if it's low, if it's like 0-2-0 both games, then I think it would sway. Because I just add everything up. It's not like average KD, it's total.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
But I think you're right, because I think he died 10 times both games. And Jackson's dead. This game is just disgusting. I think that's another Blake MVP. You can't not give the person 19
Yeah.
kills. Like, oh my god.
That first game was a pretty good game. I really liked that game. This game, I think the mental.
Bit of a John Madden moment, I think. Simply,
Yeah.
don't think see no evil,
In the
hear no
wise
evil, speak no evil, or whatever.
In the wise words of Anne themselves, I think that game put them in the Carl Havoc suit.
Yeah. The monk mental has
I
been
still
shattered.
don't really understand what that means.
There's it's a bit from a TV show. Basically, a guy puts on the Carl Havoc suit and he just gets really sad.
Okay.
It's okay, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not like the greatest bit of all time. But I believe that's going to conclude the series. Blake, if you can hit me up with the post game again, highly appreciate it. But yeah. That was a fun series for Clawseted Furries. I think recently morale on their team has been a bit low from what I've heard. But the fact that they were able to just whip that out and
yeah, I'm very happy
that was
to
a
see
nice
them
series, and I
succeeding.
feel like if anything is gonna get your morale back on track, a series as decisive and solid as that is for sure something that you like to see. So I don't know, just puts me in an excited mood for. I don't know why Siri thinks I'm talking to her. I apologize if anyone was listening to their stream out loud and I enlightened their phone as well, but I don't know. I am excited for tomorrow as well. I believe it's Silicats versus Kathy's. I think that'll be a fun one to watch. But
yeah, I'd love to see if if this battle for first place is able to continue going on.
Yeah, I mean, 6-1 for both teams would be pretty cool. I honestly I think upsets are more fun, so I might personally prefer to see that. Not because it would lock us first place, but I mean, I'm not wouldn't
I
be
would
complaining
love
about
to
that
see a
either.
Hong Baba carry. No, you know what I would love to see? I want to see Chris get off the bench and carry with that Akali, baby.
True.
Let's go, Chris.
I mean, that is how they won their single series win with the Lilia gameplay from him. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I know what their roster is, so I don't exactly know what to look for. But I think most of the rosters
Put
they run
Kathy
are
on
quite
Zaya.
strong.
Free Kathy. People in chat really knowing what's up.
True. I don't know. Any Mr. Beast fan 2010 enjoyers in chat? Big Blake stands? Question mark.
Everyone on my team will win MVP for their role, by the way. Yeah, besides you.
Who's saying this?
Blake. Oh, the mango BB. How could I stay mad at you, Blake, when you post mango emote chat? Oh my god. Alright. It was a great day casting, everyone. I think I'm gonna go take a shit, so I'll see you guys.
Oh, what a way to end stream. Let's go. I agree. It
Okay.
was a fun time casting. I am going to go take a nap. So.
Alright, good.